Pro TV, ¿cómo están? My name is Julio and welcome again to our community channel. Today it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Memorial Day, and we are in this church. And we came here because there's going to be an event and two historical figures are speaking today. So we're going to interview some people that works here. Also, our friend Amy is going to be helping us with the interviews. And thank you again for joining us.
Hi, I'm with Alan, who's the pastor here at Kenilworth Presbyterian Church. I'm Amy Cantrell, and we just wanted to talk to you. This is an annual event.
Sure, yep.
So tell us, why do you do this every year on Martin Luther King Day?
It's so important to the mission of our church and what King stood for and preached and believed in coincides to a T to the gospel that we are trying to preach and enact and do in this faith community.
That's really powerful, and every year y'all bring in a really amazing speaker. So tell us who you have this year.
We've got a fantastic gentleman who is going to be talking about his work and his role with the Greensboro sit-ins, and we are very blessed to have his experience and his understanding of what's happening, and not only during that time, but sort of the arc of history and where we are now and where we have come in as far as a community sense, but equally and probably more important, where we need to go and what needs to happen.
And I'm talking to one of my heroes here, Mr. Marvin Chambers, who was one of the folks who helped to integrate Asheville at the Woolworth lunch counter. Marvin, tell us what today means to you.
Today is quite an experience because it has the opportunity for me to be able to hear one of the persons that I had an opportunity to work with when I was in college at A&T. A very strong inspiration. He and his brother both are here, and Lewis and Donald Brandon. We had an awful good time. We were working to try to integrate the movie theaters in Greensboro, and he has been an activist for as long as I can remember. Today is a day when we celebrate what Martin Luther King has done and the information that he has provided us. As we move forward, hopefully we can change much of the things that has happened if we work at it with the right kind of attitude. I believe that would help us a lot. Okay.
That's right, and one of the things Dr. King taught us is that movement is all of us, and you've been a huge part of the movement. What would you say to young people? I stand outside our Woolworth all the time and talk about the work that you did to high schoolers. What would you tell them?
Keep the faith. Keep the faith and look to the beginning of what needs to happen in the future, okay?
Thank you so much.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Love you, Marvin. Me too.
Gee, thanks. This, my friends, is a great opportunity for me to stand before you and bring to you a friend of mine. He and his brother came all the way from Greensboro.
Thank you for being here. It's wonderful to see our church filled. And more importantly, it's wonderful to see our church filled for this occasion. And that's exciting testament to this community.
Lewis A. Brandon!
McCain and David Richmond. 4 college freshmen walk in and take seats at a dime store lunch counter in Greensboro, North Carolina.
I know him by that name. And this is the same young lady that was sitting at the counter of Jean Nelson being put in the paddy wagon. This is inside the jail. This is Rachel Lovell, waiting to be processed. And this is Raphael here with receiving the Mayfair cafeteria And Bates is from this community. The late Charles Bates was from this community. This is Jesse being arrested. First time he ever got arrested. And he was being arrested for inciting to riot. I'm back here in the corner. Yeah, but people who are concerned about your well-being and are concerned about your achieving and being moral and respectful. This community.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for what you've done for people of all races.
Your name?
Bill Robinson.
Okay.
Thanks.
This has been a wonderful evening, and I can think of no better way than to be reminded that we take the light of what we have learned, what has been said to us, the example that we have seen, both in Mr. Brandon and in the wonderful pictures he has shared.
And to be sure that all of the bags were checked. And to be sure that nothing would be wrong on the plane. We had to check out everything carefully. And we've had the plane protected and guarded all night. And then I got into Memphis. And some...
This is the 8th year that we have had the Martin Luther King event here at Kenilworth. This is my 3rd one here. It is a time for us to give thanks for all that Dr. King did to honor his legacy. It's also a time for the community to get together. We draw people from all across the community and even into Buncombe County. It is a great way to be reminded that together we can work to change this world and with justice and equality for all. Thank you.
Do you have a message for the Latino community that is fighting, is having this struggle, the same as you were fighting for in that time?
Well, you know, in Greensboro, we're very active with the Latino community. We talk about black-brown relationships. We work with FLOC, the Farm Labor Organizing Committee. And we're involved in the sanctuary movement. And I think that, you know, what you can do is make sure that you raise up your voices and stuff. We've had rallies at the various parks in Greensboro, but people need to just organize and begin to speak out, show themselves, you know, and make the community know that they are here and that they are not going to go anywhere.
And so how you can see the movement now, like so many years after that? So because we can see today, we can also see struggles for the African American community here.
Yeah, but yeah, we and the thing is that we have to see that we can build coalitions with each other, that we can be supportive of each other, and that's very important. And that's one reason that the beloved community center in Greensboro has done this black-brown thing where we began to draw in the Latino community in Greensboro. And we are working on with the Farm Labor Organizing Committee around work issues in the tobacco fields and things in North Carolina. Yeah. So, yeah.
Finally, sir, could you send us a message to all the young people that is pushing, all the dreamers that are pushing the movement for the dreamers?
Yeah, the dreamers, you know, that's great, and they need to keep pushing. They don't need to go and hide. They need to come out and be strong and really push this country to do what is right.
Thank you very much.
The message that I have for the dreamers is very simple, that I see no reason why they should have to go through that kind of deportment or anything of that nature, because they've been here. They already have proven that they are citizens or can be very good citizens, and there's no reason for all this. I just think there's no reason for any of this, that they should be able to continue to work forward, and we should be helping them to become so. That should be our next challenge to insist and work hard to make sure that they don't have to go through that kind of discrimination.
And from your experience, so is there any advice that you can give them?
Organize, connect, set up coalitions with people who can do some things to help them become who they need to be. That's the best thing. As Brandon said, we need people who are working to try to make things happen. And you can't do it without having the inside track. You got to have the inside track, and people who do have to make things happen. That's the real key. People who are action people and can work to make things happen.
Well, thank you very much, sir. All right.
My name is John Ellenberg.
So, John, how did you like the event today?
I really liked it. It was very enlightening, and it was interesting to see from some of these old pictures and then seeing the people today and what an active part they played in the struggle for equal rights and human rights, the ability to sit at a table and the ability to sit at a counter, and then to see these people live here. It was really one thing that I really would have liked to have possibly heard a little bit more about is how this recent tax legislation, and I know it was kind of outside the scope of what went on here, but how this recent tax legislation was really designed to rob the middle class and enrich the super wealthy.